my God. Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Rome. On October 20th, 1985, which was just a week ago, I was set up on a blind date with Jeffrey. And coincidentally, I was out the night before with friends, one of whom worked at Mars. I just kept asking about him all night, and she kept saying, I don't really know him. So it remained a blind date. I guess the date went well, as I brought him to meet my parents that week, and 4 months later, he was flying me to Florida to meet his parents. By the way, I had already reserved the wedding venue in LA. As both parents approved, 7 months later, I married the man of my dreams. As an LA Valley girl, I live and wait all year for award events. Right, Joe? Oscars, Emmys, Tonys, Grammys, MTV, our kids' swim team, graduations, you name it. Jeffrey, not so much. Although he was very excited for tonight. Jeffrey was a wildlife biology major at the University of Michigan. Suffice to say, he decided that being a forest ranger was ultimately not going to provide the kind of future he wanted for himself. After receiving his MBA from Ohio University, he took a job at Calcan Pet Food Company in Los Angeles, a division of M&M Mars Inc., and the rest is history. As you will find, When people asked what he did at Calcan, which was a pet food company, if you don't know, he would say, taste tester. As you will find out, he loved working at Mars and truly loves the confection business from sweet to sour. Surrounded by our family and friends sits a man of many accomplishments and interests. First and foremost, family. Our 38-year marriage, our 3 children who are all here tonight, Joe, partner, Brendan, Julian, fiance, Maddie, Sophia, brand new law student at Brooklyn College of Law. And these kids can go anywhere thanks to Jeffrey's career. We moved all over the country. They went away to camp. They can be here. They can go everywhere. We'd like to also thank our many friends and family represented here tonight, Sister Paula and our brother-in-law Robert, the Vezzies, Leslie, Deb, Bob, Krista, and unfortunately Kathy, and they had to go. Entertaining. Jeffrey loves entertaining, loves cooking, traveling, loves the theater, loves concerts, passed the litmus test, going to the Grateful Dead with me. He loves confections, loves business, a man who never complains about hard work, and a man who loves, more than anything in the world, beyond description, Michigan football. This is my husband, Jeffrey Rome.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much to my lovely wife for a great introduction. As she said, last month we celebrated our 38th wedding anniversary.
39.
It is truly hard to believe. Oh, that's right, 39. Truly, 38th wedding anniversary. We met 39 years ago.
Oh, you're right.
It is truly hard to believe that she has put, you're done talking now. It's truly hard to believe she has put up with me for all these years. She is the emotional touchstone for our family and for all of our friendships. It is certainly safe to say that without her, I would not have too many friends if it wasn't for her. She is short in stature, but her father nicknamed her better than I ever could as the Mighty Might. And anyone who knows her knows it to be true. I'm so happy our children and my sister are able to be here and celebrate with us. As you all know, there's nothing I like doing better than hanging out with you guys. I also want to recognize all of our friends who made the journey from as far away as LA, Seattle, New York, and right here in Florida. I'm truly touched that you're willing to make the trip. I'm very humbled and extremely honored to be inducted into the Candy Hall of Fame. I would like to congratulate and recognize my fellow inductees in the class of 2024. You are all extremely deserving of this honor. I want to make a special thanks to Tim LaBelle and Scott Miller for annually encouraging me these last few years to be nominated. I want to thank the NCSA and especially Teresa for making all of this happen. It is truly a top-notch event. With a lot of family, friends, and the candy world being here, it is a strange feeling. It reminds me of the time many years ago when Susie threw me a surprise birthday party. You know everybody, but you never expect to see them in the same place. To all of us in the candy business, I imagine you're as grateful as I am to be part of this incredible industry, one that brings so much happiness to people all over the world. Some of you have heard this from me before, but I'll say it again because it happens to be true. We are really part of a unique industry. I worked for over 25 years at the largest confectionery company in the world, and for 10 years I had the privilege of being president and CEO at Impact Confections, a much smaller company. And what is amazing is that all these businesses can compete, survive, and succeed together in our industry. Many of them, large and small, are multi-generational family businesses. This is readily apparent when you go to Sweets and Snacks and see us all side by side. And in the end, the consumer doesn't care who makes the products, but they all have so much joy and great fondness for their favorite candy brands. While I was in Impact, I had the opportunity to get involved with the NCA board at the board level, serving as a mentor and on other committees. Again, there were large and small companies alike working side by side on common issues. In addition, we all make products for each other. When we wanted warheads in a chewy format, Sal Ferrara made it for us until we added a color deck. And we made Easter marshmallows for him. And even as a Mars guy, I made chocolate-covered eggs for Hershey. This cooperation and camaraderie are never more important than at in-person events, such as State of the Industry, Washington Forum, and ISM. And I can assure you the bonds created by watching a Super Bowl at 4 a.m. at the Cologne Marriott could never be duplicated on a Zoom call. It is great to see many of my broker partners here in attendance and as fellow inductees, and I say partners purposefully. Too many times manufacturers take their relationship with the broker for granted. In my experience, the more you treat them as business partners and true extensions of your teams, the more successful you'll be. As you have heard, I worked for Mars Company for most of my career, and I had many mentors there. I had the privilege of knowing and working with John Forrest and Jackie Mars and learned so much from them. From the very beginning, the 5 principles of Mars struck a chord with me, and I have been guided by them in my career ever since. As Susie said, my first job was with the pet food division in LA, and I can tell you, we were the dogs of Mars Pet Care. We were losing a lot of money, and it was well known in the Mars world. But with the family's unwavering commitment to the strategy guided by the 5 principles, we turned around the business and enabled the progression to be the leading pet care company in the U.S. and in the world. Mike Murphy, former president of both Mars U.S. Pet Food and Confectionery Mars companies, was one of my early mentors, who I have stolen many quotes from, used to say, if you aren't making it or selling it, you're just overhead. So what are you doing to help make and sell more? And Grant Reed, someone I had the privilege to work with and gain much from, who recently retired as Mars CEO, was kind enough to write a letter of recommendation for me into the Candy Hall of Fame. As with most all of us, my work experience started with my family. My father and his brother owned a small urban feed store in Youngstown, Ohio. My mother did the books. Not only did my dad and his brother work together every day of their adult lives, except when my dad served in the Air Force, when they first started their families, they lived in a duplex. And when they moved into their own homes, they were a block apart. And finally, when they retired, they would drive to Florida together in the winter and share an apartment. Working in a feed store was not exactly a cushy job. My dad used to like to say it was good, clean dirt. And as my uncle famously said, we didn't have customers, we had friends. Our parents wanted nothing more for us to use that foundation to do better. And they made sure all my siblings and cousins got higher educations to do just that. I also want to acknowledge and thank my business partners from Grupo Nutresa here, or from Colombia, and our sponsor with their new exciting Viva More chocolate brand. Of course, I want to give a special shout out to all of my former Mars colleagues who are here. It is always great to see you guys, and I'm thrilled to be able to facilitate the Larry Lupo-Rick Continelli reunion. Finally, I want to point out that after 10 years after his induction, my longtime friend Brian Gold is back at the Hall of Fame for the first time. Anyway, thanks everyone. Have a great night and enjoy the rest of the evening. Here, I'll take it. Go this way?
Yeah.